Voluntary water restrictions are back.
Trying to limit your showers to no more than 3 minutes, flushing only when necessary.
Calgarians urged to conserve as weeks of critical feeder main work gets underway. Plus, inflationary concerns, volatile oil prices' impact on consumers stirred by a Middle East war.
The ice is completely unpredictable.
And the ambitious artistic undertaking on Alberta's own Abraham Lake.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Camilla DiGiuseppe.
Good evening. The city is back under voluntary water restrictions as crews shut down the Bearspaw South feeder main for critical repairs over the next month. It's the third time in 2 years. The mayor says efforts are underway to boost communication to ensure Calgarians do more to conserve. Jacqueline Wilson reports.
It's time to tighten those taps again. The city and surrounding areas are under stage 4 water restrictions, meaning no outdoor water use and a reduction in indoor use.
That means trying to limit your showers to no more than 3 minutes, flushing only when necessary, and running your dishwasher or washing machine only when they're full.
The Bearspaw feeder main that carries 60% of Calgary's water has been shut off for repairs over the next 4 weeks, leaving the Glenmore treatment plant running at max capacity to make up some of the lost water production. The goal is to keep water use below 500 million litres a day, and most Calgarians have heard the message this time around.
So I was aware of it, yeah. They left pamphlets on all our doors, and then we're just trying to stick to it.
They had notices up on our place about the water restrictions and what to do, and we're just trying to save water, follow what they're suggesting.
To keep people informed and communication lines open, the city now has an office inside the Bowness Community Association.
This center is here to support the community through a challenging period. Our team here is available to listen, answer questions, and help connect people to services and supports they might need during this construction. We're open from 9 to 5 on Mondays and Wednesdays, and from 10 to 7 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And everyone is welcome.
The reinforcements will happen along the 9 sections of the pipe identified as the most vulnerable, 6 along 16th Avenue and 3 in the Point McKay Park area. They will support the feeder main until a new parallel steel pipe is completed by December and can take over service. People can expect another round of water restrictions in the fall for that. Jacqueline Wilson, CTV News, Calgary.
Consumers should brace for higher costs on everything from groceries to airline travel. With gas prices on the rise, so are inflationary fears. Tyler Barrow has more.
With oil prices surging amid the ongoing conflict in Iran, consumers should expect increasing costs for goods and services. This truck driver drove to Calgary from Illinois. He says diesel fuel has jumped over $1 per gallon since the war in Iran broke out. It means it will cost more to transport cargo.
Truckers are worried, obviously. We are very, very worried.
Those higher fuel costs will hit everything shipped by truck, from furniture and other household goods right to what's inside the refrigerator. For every 25% sustained increase in oil prices lasting more than a month, a family of 4 can expect their grocery bill to increase by $150 to $200 annually, according to this food expert.
With surges, you tend to really see a huge difference with the food inflation rate.
One financial expert says people should brace for transportation costs to bleed into other consumer spending areas.
We're going to see an ongoing impact in terms of some of the inflationary challenges that have surfaced over the past number of years.
Back at the pump, people know higher costs are on the way.
Food is going to be affected by this high price too, which has already risen so much.
Yet, this EV driver isn't paying too much attention to oil's volatility.
Bought it 2.5 years ago. Prices were high at that time, and I decided I didn't want to be, tied into rising oil prices.
Over the weekend, West Texas Intermediate crude nearly hit $120 a barrel. By Monday afternoon, it sank to around $89. While U.S. President Donald Trump said Monday the Iran war will be over pretty quickly, the volatility is far from it.
There's a correction of some kind, but the correction usually doesn't happen until there's some kind of sense of what the geopolitical endgame is.
Robert Johnston says gas prices could continue to go up for the next few weeks. Some are predicting $150 oil. As a major producer, high oil prices are good for Alberta and its deficit-heavy budgets.
It does look like prices are going to be substantially higher.
The province says its budget is intentionally built on conservative oil price assumptions, but these sustained high values could cut this year's and next year's deficit projections. Tyler Barrow, CTV News, Calgary.
One airline expert says travelers should expect to pay 10% more for North and South American flights and 20% more for overseas flights with oil at $100 US a barrel. The provincial finance minister says despite high gas prices, it's not enough to trigger tax relief for Albertans.
We did some quick math this morning. If oil were to average, say, above 110 for the last 5 days, it could trigger the lowest level of relief. So unlikely, but not impossible.
According to legislation, tax relief at the pumps has to happen at the beginning of a quarter. The next one starts April 1st, and there isn't enough monitoring time to trigger it. The finance minister also says there's so much volatility right now, it's important to be mindful that what goes up will come down. Danielle is in with our first look at the weather. When we wake up in the morning, bundle up.
Yes. Oh, yes. A cold start to the day. You know, the clouds are going to keep clearing out tonight, and so no blanket to hold in that heat for us. So with the wind chill, it will feel more like minus 14 when off to work and school. It will be bright, but a little deceiving. All right, it will continue to be bright for much of the day, getting to a high of 2 in the afternoon. And by the supper hours, we get into a small chance of those isolated flurries, much like we had today. The significant snowfall is on the way for Thursday, though. We'll talk more about that just ahead.
All right, Danielle, thank you. The family of a 12-year-old girl who was hospitalized after the mass shooting in Tumbler Ridge has filed a civil claim against artificial intelligence company OpenAI. The suit was filed today on behalf of Maya Gabala's family, alleging OpenAI had specific knowledge of the shooter utilizing ChatGPT to plan a mass casualty event like the Tumbler Ridge mass shooting. Maya was shot in the head and neck in the February 10th shooting and remains in hospital a month later. OpenAI informed RCMP after the shooter killed 8 people before turning the gun on themselves, telling Mounties the killer had an account that had been shut down and then managed to open a second account. A statement of defense has yet to be filed. And we're learning more tonight about a multi-vehicle crash on Deerfoot Trail which shut down southbound lanes during the afternoon rush hour. It happened just before 5 p.m. near the Calf Road Bridge. Traffic was rerouted at Pagan Trail. Fire crews say a person was trapped in a vehicle on fire. Once extinguished, they freed the individual, who they say became verbally aggressive, jumped the barrier and onto vehicles in the northbound lanes that had slowed down. Calgary Fire says the driver then attempted to attack a firefighter who was trying to bring them to safety. Police say one person was taken to hospital in non-life-threatening condition. By 7:30 this evening, southbound lanes reopened. Police are investigating. Firefighters in Airdrie fought a blaze this morning at a carriage home, 2 garages with living suites above. Video from CTV News viewer shows the building engulfed in flames. A woman and her dog escaped uninjured. The building was a total loss and 2 vehicles in the garages were destroyed. Nearby structures have also some damage, including melted siding. The cause is under investigation. Calgary Public Library is facing criticism after a call for artists to apply to a residency program only if they use artificial intelligence in their work. Local artists are crying foul over the initiative, citing environmental and unethical concerns. But the library says it's a pathway to a broader conversation. Tyson Fedor reports.
Charles Akobsovich has been a graphic designer for more than 2 decades. He creates comic publications and illustrations focused around ghost towns in Alberta. But a post by the Calgary Public Library encouraging the use of AI in artistry late last month has him and others disillusioned.
That post was very disheartening, very demoralizing. It doesn't, to me, fit the mandate of what I'd expect from my public institutions.
The library is seeking a local artist who utilizes AI technology ethically. It wants someone who has used AI as a tool, collaborator, or in the creation of original work.
AI, like I said, by its definition, seeks to remove the artist completely from the art.
There are many perspectives on artificial intelligence as it relates to different disciplines, and so we're hoping to learn what this means for the creativity and arts community.
It's a 10-week residency, and the artist will be compensated $50 per hour, up to a maximum of $8,000. But artists like Akopsovich says AI is an unethical way to create art, and that the money should be spent on what he calls authentic work.
Opportunity is already very slim. They're not always. We have a lot of artists, especially younger artists as well, coming up, are seeing opportunities being more and more rare.
We do have other programming that we're planning for other parts of the year to roll out.
While the library is defending the proposal, Calgary's mayor shares the concerns from the artistic community.
You don't need ChatGPT to tell you why that's a bad idea. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me why we would be going down that direction. And it was the first time I learned of it this morning, but I think it's a terrible idea. It sets a bad precedent. And I'll be asking some questions the Calgary Public Library and their board.
Tyson Fedor, CTV News, Calgary.
Rising oil prices are hitting Alberta farmers. Still to come, farmers who haven't bought fertilizer yet could be on the hook for thousands extra.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
The province recorded its largest climb in measles cases since mid-July over the weekend. There are 36 new measles cases since Friday afternoon, including 28 cases in the south. Calgary also saw its first 2 measles cases in 2026. There are still 7 active and transmissible cases of measles, including the 2 in Calgary and 2 of the cases in the south zone. 8 people are in hospital. The province says the best protection against measles is to ensure you are up to date with vaccinations. A new poll suggests Alberta's federal political landscape may be more competitive than it has been in years, with Liberal support surging in the province. But as Kevin Green reports, the results amplify the rural-urban split that is showing itself across a lot of Alberta politics.
The federal Conservatives still lead in Alberta with 51% support among committed voters, but the Liberals have risen to 36%. The Abacus data poll suggests the real political battle is in Alberta's biggest cities.
In a way, it's resembling now the kind of urban divide you see in provincial politics.
In Edmonton, approval of the federal government sits at 52%, in Calgary 45%, and in other communities in Alberta 30%. In both urban centres, more people approve of the government than disapprove of it. Calgarians we asked were not surprised.
Just because things seem to be going the right direction. No other reason. And I think a lot of Trudeau's sins have been identified and perhaps corrected.
Even staunch Conservatives say they see this shift happening.
My friend and I were just talking about this morning, saying we can't believe how much support we're hearing about for the Liberal government.
The poll also finds Albertans are divided on the current course of the federal government. 41% say they approve of how the government is handling things, while 38% disapprove.
But at this very moment, I think there are probably as many Albertans who say the problem isn't Ottawa, it's actually external forces.
Carney's handling of those external threats appears to have helped his party.
Just for stability, because Carney gives you that feeling of grounded, shall we say.
Political scientists warn against reading too much into the polls.
It's way too early to say that this is going to be some kind of seismic shift in terms of, Albertan voting patterns. I'm not even sure that it'll stick to the next election.
Boyd points out this polling data applies to an election if it were called now, which isn't going to happen, especially with 3 recently called by-elections that, if the Liberals sweep them, could give them a majority in Parliament. Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
The Abacus data survey was done between February 20th and 25th amongst 1,000 Alberta adults. The margin of error is plus or minus 3.1 percentage points 19 times out of 20. A new survey shows more than half of Calgary businesses say talk of separatism is impacting the economy. 93% of respondents say the impact on the economy is negative, with most also saying it's negatively affecting their business operations. Businesses polled say separatism is more worrying than tariffs, pipelines, or costs. There are concerns that separatism could lead to a recession, reduce business investment, and difficulty attracting workers or dealing with other provinces. The survey was conducted for the Alberta Chamber of Commerce. Alberta farmers could soon feel the impact of the war in Iran, including costs to buy fertilizer, while grocery store owners are bracing for potential added manufacturing and transportation costs. Amanda Anderson has more.
The conflict in the Middle East and threats from Iran's military has cut off shipments through the Strait of Hormuz, a region that produces and ships massive amounts of oil, liquefied natural gas, and fertilizer.
We could anticipate seeing increased costs for fertilizer.
Fertilizer is one of our biggest input costs year to year, like every year. And so if we get say, for instance, if urea goes up 30% or in 1 year, that's a significant impact to our bottom line.
Kevin Bender has a farm near Bentley, Alberta. He says many farmers try to buy fertilizer and store it when there's a hint prices could go up.
We didn't know that this big spike was going to happen, but I'd say most years we see an increase in fertilizer prices coming into spring. So people will buy in the fall or through the winter and help minimize any cost increases that might occur.
Bender says farmers always find a way to manage, and it could mean planting crops that don't require the same fertilizer product. He also says rising diesel prices will have a minimal impact on his farm. At the Italian Centre shop in Edmonton, Teresa Spinelli is keeping a close eye on oil prices.
Last time this happened, when there was a boom in Alberta with the oil prices going over $100 a barrel, we noticed that our freight company started charging a surcharge for the extra gas, and then we also noticed that our suppliers started charging more, especially if they're production and they're using oil and gas.
Costs the shop tries not to pass on to customers. Spinelli says it could be weeks before she knows how oil prices will impact her costs. Supply chain consultant Brent Willett believes the impacts on consumers will be very small compared to what they faced during COVID.
COVID was also about scarcity, not just pricing. We're not going to have a scarcity issue. What we could have is cost impacts along those supply chains. So going forward, organizations, specifically those in Canada, are much more resilient than they were 6 years ago.
Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
Danielle's up next with her Skywatch forecast, and we're going to see some sunshine tomorrow, also chilly temperatures to start the day. More snow later in the week. Details next.
Well, temperatures were a little below normal for today. When you look at daytime highs, -2 for Banff and Calgary, +2 for Brooks and Medicine Hat, and 1 for Lethbridge, Milk River, and Drumheller as well. We'll get a little warmer throughout these next couple of days. We also had flurries earlier on around those supper hours. That has since fizzled out. We have the potential for late day flurries for the next couple of days. So that's one thing to keep in mind, because we'll get the instability later in the day. Temperature should be just below or at that freezing mark. So it comes in the form of flurries, much like those late day thunderstorms that we get in the summertime. Same idea, just because of temperatures, flurries. All right, so we have all of this snow that's basically made its way out. For tomorrow and overnight tonight, it will continue to clear out. So we are looking at a good amount of sunshine. This is tomorrow morning, especially around Calgary. Further to the south, you may see a little more cloud cover in the morning hours. And then later in the day, again, we get that band of instability. So we're looking at these isolated pop-up flurries here and there. We could see a little bit of that in Calgary, small chance. If we get this at all, though, it's really no accumulation and nothing to worry about. Really short-lived. It's nothing significant. Same idea for the supper hours on Wednesday as well. That late day pop-up flurry activity, but it's late Wednesday night and in through Thursday that we are looking at a significant snowfall. So you can check this out. This is overnight Wednesday night into Thursday morning, and this will be enough to shovel for sure. So it's another round, much like what we had on Sunday. So when we look at amounts, up to 8 centimeters is certainly likely in Calgary from this on Thursday. Some models even suggesting more snow than this. So as we get closer, I will continue to keep you posted. All right, looking at the longer range forecast, 2 degrees is our high for tomorrow, so a little warmer than today. Good amount of sunshine in the city, but again, that chance of some late day isolated flurries around those supper hours. Same idea for Wednesday, even just a little warmer on Wednesday with a high of 4. And then late Wednesday night, we start to get into a more significant snowfall. 1 to 3 centimeters possible late Wednesday night, and Thursday another 3 to 5 centimeters possible from this. Temperatures will also drop. So -3 will be the high on Thursday. It clears out on Friday. -4 will be the high, and then another round of snow is back on Saturday, when we'll likely see another 3 to 5 centimeters.
Danielle, thank you. Alberta's wintry landscape has caught the eye of an international artist. Next, how a partnership with Travel Alberta is showcasing his creativity and our natural wonders on a whole other level. An international artist recently made some scenic Alberta destinations his canvas, and the combination of his skills with nature's raw beauty is something to marvel. As Nicole Weisberg reports, his art has already disappeared, but it's left a lasting impression.
I could barely believe it when I stepped onto the ice. Methane bubbles layered and stacked like frozen breath.
A natural phenomenon in central Alberta made even more eye-catching. For earth artist David Popa, having Abraham Lake as a canvas is a dream.
It's stunning because it's, as you know, sort of a miracle of a location. You have the clarity, the deepness of the turquoise, unbelievable fracturing, cracks, and then, of course, these methane bubbles.
Popa spent 12 days in the Nordegg area mid-January, about a year after he was first contacted by Travel Alberta about partnering.
We're trying to do something different than just imagery, which is mountains and frozen lakes.
Different and difficult. Popa is used to creating art on ice in the Baltic Sea near his home in Finland. With this piece, he says there were moments he wasn't sure he could pull it off.
It was like 0 to 3 degrees. So it was either like windy and then my chalk or charcoal would freeze on the surface. Then it would warm up because of the sun.
Popa also attempting a 2-day project in a location where the wind could easily sweep away his entire first day of work. Instead,
he was like, just pull off this piece in a perfect weather window with the sunset. Like, this can't be happening.
Popa's second piece in the region, in Klein Creek Canyon, lasted just 1 day. He uses only natural materials. Popa returned to Abraham Lake for the third, working from sunrise to sunset at about -15 degrees to finish.
These are the kind of adventures I live for.
The golden color between the faces inspired and sourced from a Nordegg pigment artist whose studio Popa visited just a few days prior.
It's not only the place, but it's also the people.
Travel Alberta's Instagram post about Popa's pieces is its top video with over 4 million views, helping accomplish its goal of exposing the province's lesser-known destinations to more of the world. Nicole Weisberg, CTV News, Edmonton.
Stunning. All right, that's it for us here at CTV News at 11:30. Thank you for watching. We will see you soon. Have a good night.